Hello and welcome to another ROFFS update of the ocean conditions using satellite sea surface temperature and ocean color chlorophyll imagery from the weekend of May 24th, 2025. Overall, the Gulf Stream is approximately 83, extending through the Florida Straits, and then cools down to approximately 79, 80, extending past North Carolina. So we have seen a relatively significant increase in temperature, certainly to the south, with air temperatures getting up into the mid to low 90s off of Florida. So we are certainly feeling the heat. Starting to the south, first off, with the tournament off of Walkers, we would of course like to congratulate everybody who placed in that. It seemed like it was an excellent tournament, and we had multiple people place and win, and so that sounded like a good tournament. So congratulations to them. We'll start here off of the Florida Keys. We do have a relatively large eddy here west of Key West, and then the Gulf Stream extends relatively far inshore with a number of small eddies here extending north along the Keys that we'll take a closer look at with the chlorophyll imagery. Again, off of South Florida, relatively difficult to see, so we'll take a closer look at the chlorophyll imagery for those. And we will zoom in here a little bit, and we can see this eddy here off of the Cape Canaveral area circulating some nice water inshore, as well as to the north off of the Matanzas St. Augustine area, a nice eddy here off of the Jacksonville area, smaller eddy here off of the Savannah area. The Charleston Gyre, as I've talked about previously, this large eddy that is often in this area just because the Charleston bump is right here that kind of deflects the Gulf Stream east. So more often than not, with that deflection, this large eddy will often form in the area, which will certainly create good conditions along the cooler, greener water here and the warmer Gulf Stream associated water here for your tuna, dolphin, wahoo, and billfish. Looking to the north, relatively stable conditions with the Gulf Stream offshore and a second eddy here in between Cape Lookout and Cape Fear, and then the final eddy here pushing in off of Cape Lookout to just south of Cape Hatteras there. Looking along the eastern side, we've seen this relatively large feature out here for a couple days, or going on a couple weeks now. And then again, we can see a feature along this line with your better, tuna fishing along the eastern side occurring out along these edges here, with excellent reports of tuna fishing recently as well. Quickly looking over at the Bahamas, actually we'll save that for the chlorophyll imagery just because it's a little bit easier to see. But we can see kind of the normal pattern where this Gulf Stream associated water is extending to the southeast along Matinilla to Walkers, and then has now started to round the corner off of Marsh Harbor there. And then in general, the cooler Bahamas blue water is extending from the south and wraps around to the north to meet up with the eastern side of the Gulf Stream. That is also the general kind of migration pattern that these marlin take, right? They're riding that cleaner water up and around so they can meet up with the Gulf Stream. So we'll take a look at the associated chlorophyll data here and zoom in a little bit. Again, here we can see this nice green to blue edge here off the Keys with these smaller eddies. They appear to be about 10 miles wide, so certainly keeping in mind with something like that, an analysis is quite important, just because conditions are going to change certainly throughout the day, if not every 6 hours, right, with those filaments pushing through. Here again is this nicer water here off of the Fort Lauderdale area, as well as That's north off of Stewart and Jupiter there. This is actually a set of eddies, it appears, so we can see this nice cleaner blue water extending all the way down from Jacksonville to Cape Canaveral essentially, the associated pocket of green water heading north, and then the Gulf Stream edge. So certainly between this edge here, this edge, and the Gulf Stream is going to be an excellent place to catch that tuna, dolphin, wahoo, and sailfish. Looking to the north, this is again that relatively large eddy we were talking about earlier, and there's usually some nicer blended blue water inshore, but we can also see the eddy filament in the area here. So here's more blue water along here and along here, and then finally up north, right when you get to the point, a bunch of green water pushes in, unfortunately. So then a little Gulf Stream eddy out there. Taking a quick peek at the Bahamas. We can see kind of the normal counterclockwise rotation, it looks like, through the area here. So, you know, this is kind of the corner area. So with that, we can see these nice edges here, as well as through here, right? And then Tuna Canyon's in this area. So there's that nice cleaner blue water right here over Tuna Canyon. That should be good. Again, this nice cleaner, almost purple water here off of Eleuthera, some of it extending into the Northeast Providence Channel. Up here off of Abaco looks good as well. And then again off of Walker's here. Got some nice edges. That certainly contributed to the good bill fishing in the area for the Walker's Invitational. So with that, for the most recent analysis of your area, you can give us a call at 321-723-5759. You can email us at fishing@roffs.com, and you can place an order online at roffs.com. Thank you very much. Tight lines.